Good afternoon. Welcome to Stock Talk Thursday. My name is David. I'm going to be your host for today. I am excited because I've got something really interesting to show you. Tradeway now has their own platform called Charts by Tradeway. No longer are students going to have to go to Thinkorswim or TC2000 or some of the other deals out there. We have our own platform. And I'm very excited to show that to you. Now, we're not going to go into a full dive as far as all the benefits that it has to offer, because honestly, I can't squeeze that into 15 minutes. But we are going to use the platform today when I go over what's hot and what's not. And so I'm excited for you guys to get to see that. So let's just dive right in here. So before we do so, I need to share my screen. That's the first thing I need to do. All right. Here we go. You should be seeing my screen right now with our brand new Charts by Tradeway. So that is great. Before we go into what's hot and what's not, I think we need to just do a brief overview of what the market's been doing the last week. And I want to start with last week, Friday. So Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, in the market, believe it or not, it's only a half a day. You know, they don't give us they don't give us a whole day of trading because it's within the holiday time there. So it's half a day of trading. And if we look at which day we're talking about on Black Friday, it is this big red candlestick that is coming down right here. Now, generally on Black Friday, since it's a half day and it's holidays, you know, the big boys, we call them, the big institutions, they're on vacation. They don't want to mess with things. It's usually a pretty quiet day in the market. It doesn't go up so much, doesn't go down so much. But all of a sudden, in just 3 short hours on Friday, we had this candlestick. It was pretty massive. I'm glad it wasn't a whole day of trading, because who knows, maybe that candlestick might have been twice as big coming down. So that was Friday. Now we take a look at the next trading day, which was this week, Monday, and everything was up again. Yay, we're all happy again. It's back up to where we were expecting it to be. Along comes Tuesday, and it's back down again, gets smashed back down. By this point, you have these exponential moving averages on top that are pushing the whole market down. So that's Tuesday. Now let's take a look at yesterday. Yesterday opens up here, so it gapped up a little bit, opened higher, moved up strongly, actually was able to push through the EMAs, just barely get on top of it. And then the whole market turned around. And from this point, we tanked 150 points on the S&P. That's pretty massive. Forget the numbers. You can just see on the candlesticks here. This candlestick is a whole lot bigger than anything we've seen in here. And this candlestick, when you look from top to bottom, is actually bigger than any of these that we've been looking at here as well. That was yesterday. So you can start seeing a little bit of a pattern here, right? Not necessarily an easily traded pattern, but one day it's down, one day it's up, one day it's down. And then yesterday it was up and then down within the same day. So if yesterday was a big down day too, what do you think happened today? Well, it went up again. And so now it's up again. And so with all this craziness going on, man, that really makes trading a hard thing. And so we have this whipsaw going on, just back and forth and back and forth. Definitely not easy. So yesterday, Tradeway actually called a squirrel market alert. And we're not going to dive into the deep details of a squirrel market right now, but I mean, you can probably get the point. You're driving down the road, you see that squirrel cross the street, and they go back and forth, and they don't know what to do. That's kind of like what the market's doing right now. And so for a lot of us, that's just a good time to just sit out of the market, not go ahead and trade it, and just take a break and, learn something different, or just watch the market, paper trade it if you want. That is an overview of what's been happening this last week. I was thinking, looking at the market, and when I'm thinking about what's not hot, it might as well just be the market, right? But we're not going to just stick with that. I'm going to dive into what I did find that I consider hot, and that would be Home Depot. Here we go. Here's the chart for Home Depot. Look at that. That's actually a really clean chart. Nice up move, consolidating, move sideways, moved up real strong again, move sideways again. Today, if the market tone wasn't as ugly as it is, I would call that a pretty nice buy signal, honestly. You can see the earnings right here. They had earnings back on November 16th. This chart has just such an easy, clean look at it. You just hover over it, boom. They were estimating $3.41. They got $3.92. So, of course, the next day it gaps up and then races up. Nice big clear candlestick on Home Depot. And you look at just 2 months ago, Home Depot's trading in the 320, 330 level. And right now it's above 400. So some pretty solid growth on Home Depot in the last couple months. Now, I know what you might be thinking, yeah, it's nice uptrend and everything, but it's not that hot, right? Like it's not racing up like we might see Tesla do sometimes, or back when GameStop was going crazy. It's not looking quite like that, and I agree with you, but actually it took me a good bit of searching to find a nice chart that looked fairly tradable, that was still in an intact uptrend with what the market has been doing. And so let's talk about that real quick. Here's why I think Home Depot is actually hot. Let's think about the market as a big ocean. And within the ocean, we have all these stocks swimming around. Now, all the stocks, they want to go up, right? I mean, if you're a part of that company, if you're the CEO of that company, if you own stock in that company, you want it to go up. Generally, we're wanting stocks to go up. So all these stocks are trying to swim in the same direction. But the overall market is like our current, right? So within the ocean that we're talking about here, we have a current, and that's going to be our market tone. Which direction is the current going? And is that stock able to swim against the current or not? Now, if the whole market's going up, you know, kind of like what we've seen for the better part of last year, the whole market's going up, a lot of stocks are just going to kind of go with it, right? You know, even if they're not super strong stocks, they're just going to go along for the ride in that current, and they're going to go up as well. Now, when the stock or when the market turns the other direction, and so the current turns the other direction, a lot of stocks are just going to be going along with that as well. You know, some of your stronger stocks might not be going the wrong direction as fast, but they might still go that direction. So here we look at, let's take another quick look at this. Here's our current, right? So here's the market. And so the last week at one point, we were up at about 47, 42 or so on the S&P. And then today we came all the way down. We opened up at 45. So, I mean, it's almost a 250 point drop. So the current has been going. I'm having trouble. Well, I don't know what's going on with that. We're going to throw that away. Siri wants to be a part of the conversation. I just said no. So the current is wanting to go the wrong direction. And what has Home Depot said? Home Depot has said, actually, I'm going to hold my own. And it has been. You look at the last few days, and it hasn't been able to really push higher a whole lot. But you know what? It's been going sideways. It's been respecting the 10-day exponential moving average. Today made a nice little move up. So that's why Home Depot is my hot stock for the day. Now let's talk about what's not hot. And I know you might be thinking like, oh, the whole market, like everything's just been, I can pull up chart after chart that's just been getting killed this last week. So it was almost a little hard to find a stock that was not hot too. But here's one that I picked out, and I'm going to tell you why. We're looking at Twitter not being hot. And well, I mean, the chart kind of speaks for itself. You can see a whole lot of red on there. The last month, a little over a month, it's just been going down, pretty much been staying below the 5-day EMA. That whole time, if a stock is staying below the 5-day EMA, it is getting crushed. Okay, so you can see, on Home Depot, we have that green earnings box, nice, super easy to see. On Twitter, we've got this red earnings box, so they missed earnings. They were estimating 2 cents per share, and they actually lost 54 cents per share. So massive difference. Of course, you can see the fall through of that big solid candlestick just dropping down there, and it moved sideways a little bit and then hit the 5-day EMA and just getting punched down, punched in. And then the other day on this big candlestick right here, where it opened up around, I can tell you exactly where it opened up at 51.88 and ended up closing at 45.78. So about a 10% drop from open to close right there. On that specific day, for whatever reason, suddenly the CEO of Twitter resigned. So you got the CEO of your company resigning suddenly, and that's going to create a lot of volatility. People tend to sell off in those times because what's going to happen? We don't know. We don't know who's going to take over. We don't know what's going to happen. And so they play it safe and they sell off. And another reason why Twitter here not hot. I mean, we go back to today, even though we have whipsaw craziness going on in the market, squirrel, all that stuff. Today, the stock, I mean, the overall market did move up again. So, down, up. Today was one of those up days. Who knows what tomorrow will be, by the way? Who knows? So we go back to Twitter. Twitter was not up. Look at that. Twitter was not up. Twitter didn't even make it up to the 5-day EMA. So again, with the current for one day at least going in the right direction, Twitter couldn't even keep up with that. It started falling a little bit and finished down on the day. And so that's why Twitter is my not stock for the day. So there you have it. You've got Home Depot, you've got Twitter as our hot stock and our not stock. And that's our Stock Talk Thursday for today. We'll have to see what the market gives us tomorrow. We'll pull up the overall chart again. Tomorrow we've got Friday, and if today was a big up day, if that pattern holds, tomorrow could be a big down day. We'll see. We're not sure. We'll just have to wait. Who knows what will happen next week? This whole chart could look a bit different next week when I'm with you on Stock Talk Thursday. Maybe it'd be a little easier to find some good tickers that are racing up. We'll just have to see if market tone helps out with that. But that's Stock Talk Thursday for today. It was fun being with you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.